Hey guys, what's up? I'm gonna do a video here. I was gonna say that I'm doing a quick video, but I would be lying. So if you're someone that's attention span is gone now, swipe. All right, but for those who really are interested in hearing what I have to say, I'm gonna spend a little time on this real quick. But basically, I get like hundreds of emails with people who are always asking, where are classes, how much are classes, what do your classes entail, and so on and so forth. And I get so many of them. I have to sift through them. I have to look through them, see which one is spam, which one isn't, and I try to respond to all of them. But uh, long story short is I normally when I respond to any prospect students, I usually ask, like if they have any martial arts experience. It could be any martial arts experience, or do they have any experience with any sports? It could be baseball, it could be basketball, it could be football. And so I ask those questions because I want to kind of get a handle on how far I can stretch them, what is it I can do and can't do initially, so that this way when they come into a class, basically I can just put them where they're at as far as skill set is concerned. Okay, so I inevitably when I ask that question get people who would say, "Oh, I just did karate for 10 years. I just did taekwondo, or I'm just a wrestler." I always ask and I put in quotations because first we dialogue by email, and I put, that's fantastic, and this amount of years, and doing this and this particular art. Why would you say just? You know, and after asking these people, I would say about 90% of the time, okay, and this is not hyperbole, this is about 90% of the time, it's normally they say that it's just karate and just taekwondo and just this and just that because they feel some sort of shame that they're not doing mixed martial arts. And mixed martial arts, the business, okay, the mixed martial arts business has become so bigoted. They have become they put themselves so high on a pedestal, looking down at everybody who does a different art and doesn't do the art that your typical mixed martial art school is teaching. And I would even say, like, while yes, it is a school, I look at it more like an institution. You can get educated anywhere, but you definitely don't want to be institutionalized. Institutions will stifle your growth, and that's going to be true in any discipline, including Wing Chun, by the way. The institute of any particular art will keep you confined to their institution, hence, institute. And I believe that the mixed martial arts world now, and I'm painting a broad with a broad brush here, but from my experience, it looks like everybody who goes into mixed martial arts has to learn or know a certain just these few type of martial arts that make them a mixed martial artist. So what do I mean by that? So if a wrestler wanted to learn boxing, and he did, well, a wrestler and a boxer, that's a mixed art. Those are two different mixed art. That would be considered a mixed martial art right off the bat. If you did taekwondo and jiu-jitsu, well, you know how to kick and you know your groundwork, that would be a mixed martial art. And so there are so many different arts, and because in the span of 10,000 years or so of human civilization, there have been people who have used whatever we'll call it martial art, to protect themselves, their tribe, their people, their family, and so on and so forth, the military. So you can't kind of push martial arts out and then just say, well, these core little ones here, this is mixed martial arts. Everything else is, I don't believe in that. If a person is phenomenal at taekwondo and they got awesome legs, Well, guess what? When they do their boxing, when they do their striking, when they do their grappling, when they do their jujitsu, we're gonna make sure that we accentuate the stuff that they're awesome at and find a way to use what they're already good at into this mixed martial art, maybe for the groundwork and maybe for just stand up with their hands. But what I'm saying is that you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So any martial art is going to be a martial art that's going to only add or benefit as a supplement to whatever other art that you learn in mixed martial art. So I keep on saying this because the mixed martial art industry, the institution of mixed martial art schools, which are really just money making machines for selling mixed martial arts as a commodity that only teaches their core principles of what they believe only mixed martial arts should be. Now, while they may be good and useful, that's not how everybody learns, and that doesn't mean that there's a one size fits all for everybody. I know phenomenal martial artists who never took a mixed martial art class in their life. I know street guys who have had more fights than a person going into a mixed martial arts school, a real fight. Now, well, street fighters don't know how to fight. Well, I would have to say, if you're getting punched in the face, if you're getting slammed on concrete, if you're getting an elbow in your cranial, if you're getting stomped by combat boots, well, guess what? That's a fight nonetheless. No, but it's not mixed martial arts. It doesn't matter if it's mixed martial arts. If you're in a street fight and there's two guys against one and your skull is being crushed on that concrete and someone else is robbing you and someone else has a gun and someone else has a knife, and this guy is used to fighting for his life, well, then I would take that guy over anybody. Now, for the sport, will he have to refine so that he's confined within the institution of martial arts, mixed martial arts, to compete at an athletic level? Yes, absolutely, because he's going to be now fighting for a sport where he's not thinking about kind of like that brutal, savage survival of the street. Not one is better than the other, but I take the person who has more fighting than the person who's just learning how to do mixed martial art anytime. Now, this guy from the street will go in there and he'll give it his all. And maybe the guy who's learning a couple of new skill sets, maybe he learns and then he actually wins. And that's totally fine. But doesn't mean that this guy didn't go in there with all his heart, with a mindset to blow you away. And that's the principle of it. We want to make sure that in the mixed martial art world of teaching something for sport, that we just refine whatever it is that they have and then teach them the things, principles that they can build on. We don't want to look down our noses and say, well, you only took Taekwondo. Oh, you're just a karate guy. Oh, you're just a Wing Chunger. Oh, you just do Tai Chi. Hey, listen, there might be an element in any one of those disciplines that might be attributed into making them a better fighter once we teach them the rest of what we call our mixed martial arts in our mixed martial arts institution. I look at the mixed martial arts community now as big money making bigots. These are the people who have put themselves on a pedestal and have become basically bigots of other arts. And they look down their nose and say, well, if you don't know this art, or if you're not training under this certain person, or if you're not, then you'll never be a fighter. You need to come here and learn this institutionalized system in order for you to do A, B, and C. And if you're going to dissuade somebody from actually going into a sport that they can potentially love and be good at, then shame on you. And again, I feel that the mixed martial art world has become one big shopping store, and they want to make sure that they look down their noses from their high horse and say, well, you only know this. And I think that that's deplorable. I think it's disgusting. And I think because I see it and it's more and more prevalent. That's why every time I ask these potential students what martial art, if any, do they know, and they say, I just know this or I just know this. The reason why they're saying they just know this and just know that is because they're scared. They've been ostracized. They've been pushed aside. They're scared to say that they take Taekwondo, that they do Wing Chun. God forbid they do a different art like Hapkido or whatever else. They're scared to say it because the mixed martial arts community has shunned them, and they say, "We're so high and mighty. We look down on you because if you're going to use that art that we don't know inside of mixed martial arts, well, then you're just not good enough." And I think that is a poor way to bring people into an art. Mixed martial arts can be beautiful, but it's how you're teaching it. I don't like to look at what I teach as something that's an, where you're being institutionalized. Every one of my students are going to learn within a certain parameter, but they're still going to be the fighters that they are. So I'm not robbing them of who they are or the fight or the game that they bring into that element they bring into the game. So the way I see it is, it has become one big pile of bigotry, of people looking down their noses, and other martial arts are not considered part of the elite mixed martial artists that have to only do this little certain area criteria down here to be called a mixed martial artist. I think that's ridiculous, and I actually hate that. I'm going to use an example of, I'm an artist, okay, and if I were to sketch with a pencil and I did a portrait of somebody, I can do that same sketch, that same portrait with a pen, believe it or not. I don't need an eraser. I don't need something that's going to help me minimize my mistakes if I have any mistakes in my drawing. And I can even use a marker. I can use paint. I can use canvas. I can use paper. It doesn't matter to me because I'm an artist. Okay. Now, the expression of how I draw is the most important thing because it's personal to me. So if I was a phenomenal portrait artist, and I'm pretty good at it, and I only did it in pencil, and then I come into a school and I say, I really want to take my portrait drawing up. And they go, yes, do you have any skill set? I go, yeah, I love to draw with pencil. And they go, come over here. You're going to need to leave that pencil baby stuff on the side there, and you're going to need to learn how to draw with ink and with paint and with so on and so forth. And then they kind of shun me because I'm a natural born artist who's very good at using pencil, but they're going to take the one tool that I'm good at just so I can fit their institution. It doesn't make sense. And that's exactly what mixed martial arts schools have done. They're completely negating the fact that you come in with some sort of skill set, and they're pushing it aside because you don't make sense in our mixed martial arts institution. And that to me is deplorable. It's become one big bag of money for everybody. And listen, I'm not dumb. Money makes the world go around. You need it just as much as oxygen. But when you're messing with people's lives, listen, I'm not trying to like completely morph and change and mold somebody into what I want them to be. I want them to be a better version of themselves. And if they already have a game that they're good at, boom, bring it in there and let's see how we can fit it in with the rest of what we will call mixed martial arts so that they can go out there and compete. And again, that's just in the sports arena. I mean, obviously, there's the arena of combat fighting for survival on the street, which is a whole other different element. And I'm not saying one is better than the other before I get anybody saying, well, you street guys are always saying how you can. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there is a reality where people fight every day in the street. I've been there, and a punch with bare knuckle is just as hard as a punch with someone that you're sparring with in the gym with a glove. So for that person in the street, there's no difference. The same guy who gets tackled in the street and gets slammed on his spine, almost fractures his skull, and then still has to try to make it out to survive and throw elbows, punches, and gouging eyes. You can't tell that guy that he's not having a real fight, a sanctioned fight. This guy's surviving for his life. Whether he wins or loses is very important. He can end up dead in the hospital or he can make it alive. So you can't tell that guy, well, he's not following the mixed martial arts community standards in order to survive on the street. I think that's ridiculous. So for all the teachers out there who like to work within this little beautiful little design that they have here and nobody else fits in that mold, as you look down in your high chair and minimize what people bring to the table, again, shame on you. But I do believe in the law of reciprocity, and you will get your karma back. I guarantee you, because people will awaken. There is no one size fits all. There is no one martial art that does it all, hence mixed martial arts. But you can't take what you call mixed martial arts with just these few little components and then throw everybody else aside and look down your nose as if they don't have any significance in the fight game. So that's a very important thing to me. And I told you this video was going to be long. So if you have any comments that's going to talk about nonsense and you're going to talk your smack and everything, I'll read it, but I'm not going to respond to it. So I'll just let you know. You can send whatever you want. I'm just not going to respond to it. But if you have something of relevance or if you agree with what I'm saying, so share it, like it, and then write me a comment and let me know if you know what I'm saying. All right? So I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys one way or another. Peace.